Oh, hi there, friends. Mandy here. Restorative grief is all about creating easy access to healing no matter where or who you are. That's why I want you to remember that if you want grief support beyond a podcast, my 31-day guidebook is available to order on Amazon. Embracing our losses without losing ourselves is a reflective journey into the holistic needs of grievers and learning to support yourself, mind, heart, body, and spirit. Don't just wing it. You can lean into grief work with a guide. The link for the book and more are available in the show notes, and as always, you can reach out with questions. But for now, let's get on to this week's episode. Welcome back to Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart. You are listening to episode 152, titled A Few of My Favorite Grief Reads. Reading is an entry point onto your pathway for healing, but I know that as a griever, reading can be one of the most difficult hobbies to recover. Whether you love true crime or live for the self-help section, Grief Brain can make focusing on a book quite challenging. In my line of work, I am often asked for referrals on my favorite grief books, so I thought a quick podcast chat about the books I recommend most often and why would be helpful. Because when we're faced with the overwhelming tide of loss, finding resources that offer comfort, understanding, and practical advice is crucial. So I'm not going to lie to you, my book is on this list. I wouldn't have written it if I didn't find it deeply meaningful and supportive. But other than my work, there are 3 books here that I share with grievers and grief supporters the most often, and one is a recent release. It's just so good, it jumped to the front of the line. Now, these are all nonfiction works, and when I can narrow down the list, I'll share my top fictional reads on grief and healing too. The first book I recommend is The Wild Edge of Sorrow, Rituals of Renewal and the Sacred Work of Grief by Francis Weller. Francis Weller, a psychotherapist and soul activist, brings a unique perspective to the process of grieving in his book. It is a profound and poetic exploration, offering readers practical advice and spiritual insight. Weller delves into the depths of sorrow, exploring it not just as a personal experience, but as a communal and even sacred practice, providing guidance and insight as a powerful antidote to the isolation that often accompanies loss. His approach is deeply influenced by his background in psychology and his understanding of various cultural practices surrounding grief. Weller emphasizes the importance of rituals and community in the grieving process. He argues that contemporary Western society, which I agree with, often lacks the communal and ritualistic support that other cultures provide. So by reintroducing rituals, people can find a sense of community and shared sorrow, which can be incredibly healing. Weller also outlines 5 distinct gates through which grief enters our lives. 1, everything we love we will lose. 2, the places that have not known love. 3, the sorrows of the world. 4, what we expected and did not receive. And 5, ancestral grief. This framework helps readers understand the multifaceted nature of grief and validates their varied experiences. Weller also reframes grief as a sacred task, an integral part of the human experience that must be embraced rather than avoided. By viewing grief through this lens, people can find deeper meaning and purpose in their sorrow. Overall, this book is full of lyrical writing that makes you feel things in a good way. I know feeling more things right now might not be the highest priority for your grief work, but the way this book brought my authentic, yes, me too, declaration to the surface meant that I needed to share it far and wide. The second book I like to share with others is Bearing the Unbearable, Love, Loss, and the Heartbreaking Path of Grief by Dr. Joanne Cacciatore and Jeffrey Rubin. This book offers a gentle and deeply compassionate guide to navigating the excruciating pain of loss. Drawing from her extensive experience as a bereavement educator and researcher, Dr. Cacciatore provides readers with practical tools and profound insights to help them cope with and ultimately integrate their grief. To me, this work is a beacon of hope for those who feel overwhelmed by loss. Her compassionate and practical approach offers a lifeline when we need it the most. Dr. Cacciatore emphasizes that grief is not something that can be overcome or moved past. Instead, it is a lifelong journey that must be integrated into our lives. This perspective helps to normalize the ongoing nature of grief and alleviates the pressure to get over your loss. This book also offers practical exercises rooted in mindfulness and self compassion. These techniques help us stay present with our grief rather than avoiding or suppressing our emotions. By cultivating a compassionate relationship with ourselves, we can find greater ease in our grieving process. Bearing the unbearable is also enriched with personal stories from those who have experienced great loss. These narratives provide solace and solidarity, reminding us that we are not alone in our grief. I love how clearly this book invites us to remember we are moving with, not from. So many grievers hear the minimizing messages of how to heal quickly and bounce back to productivity. I hate that. This book is a great way to help us in our mindset to learn how to engage with grief intentionally and to bear witness for ourselves and others as a pathway to healing. The third book I want to share, and most recent addition to my list of favorites, is As Long as You Need by J.S. Park. In the realm of grief support and pastoral care, the work of J.S. Park stands out for its authenticity, empathy, and deep personal insight. Indeed, you know I'm a huge fan of June's work, and his presence on this show often reflects that. As Long as You Need offers a unique blend of personal experience and professional expertise for our grief work. As a hospice chaplain, June has been on the front lines of human suffering for a long time, providing spiritual and emotional support to patients and their families during some of their darkest moments. His writing demonstrates profound empathy and a deep understanding of the complexities of grief and loss. His book is structured around the idea that grief is not a linear process with a clear endpoint, but rather a unique and ongoing journey for every individual. One of the central tenets of As Long as You Need is the concept of offering unwavering support to those who are grieving. June emphasizes there's no, quote, right way to grieve, and that individuals need varying amounts of time and different types of support as they navigate. This compassionate approach helps to alleviate the pressure that many people feel to move on or get over their grief within a specific time frame. Park's writing is marked by its raw honesty and vulnerability. He often shares personal anecdotes and reflections that underscore the reality of grief as that multifaceted, often messy process. This openness helps to normalize the wide range of emotions and experiences that accompany grief, providing solace to those who might feel isolated in their pain. And while deeply empathetic, June also offers practical advice and exercises that are designed to help readers engage with their own grief in a constructive manner. These tools are intended to facilitate self-reflection, emotional expression, and personal healing, empowering readers to take an active role in their own recovery. And as a chaplain, Park naturally integrates aspects of faith and spirituality into his work. However, his approach is inclusive and respectful of diverse beliefs, which I love. He offers insights that are accessible. June offers insights that are accessible to readers of all faith backgrounds, focusing on universal themes of love, loss, and hope. June's contribution to grief support are significant, not only because of his professional expertise, but also because of his innate ability to connect with people on a deeply personal level. His work resonates with a broad audience, including those who might feel alienated by more traditional forms of grief support. By addressing the emotional, spiritual, and practical aspects of grief, June provides a holistic approach that is both comforting and empowering. And finally, let's talk about my book a bit. It's titled Restorative Grief: Embracing Our Losses Without Losing Ourselves. My book is a heartfelt and empowering 31-day guide to navigating loss and keeping your eyes on yourself in the process. As a certified grief educator, coach, and trauma professional, I created this offering of personal experiences, practical advice, and therapeutic insights to help my readers explore their own understanding of balance and healing in the midst of their grief. The key approach in my book encourages readers to investigate their grief with curiosity rather than fear. By exploring your emotions and experiences with an open mind, you can gain a deeper understanding of your grief and what it means for your life. The book provides a range of restorative practices as well, all designed to support healing and resilience and backed by science. These include journaling prompts, mindfulness exercises, and numerous self care strategies that are accessible to all. Each is offered to help you reconnect with yourself and find moments of peace in the middle of your sorrow. And each offering played some part of my own grief story and journey into healing. Crucially, my book addresses the profound impact that grief can have on our sense of identity. It consistently offers guidance on how to honor and integrate the loss into your life story without losing sight of who you are and who you are becoming. And finally, Restorative Grief is designed to underscore the importance of community and support networks. Although it will be challenging, the book outlines how to seek out and lean on your communities, whether that be friends, family, or support groups, because this is no solo trek. To attempt the grief path alone is foolish at best. In producing this book, my hope is for you to experience an approach to grief that is both gentle and empowering. It's full of practical tools to navigate your grief while maintaining a strong sense of self. And it is also my hope that a repeated emphasis on curiosity and restoration provides you with a refreshing perspective on the grieving process. Thank you for listening to episode 152 of Restorative Grief. Grief is an inevitable part of the human experience, but it is also one of the most challenging. And finding resources that offer comfort, understanding, and practical guidance can make a significant difference in our journey through loss. Each one of these 4 books support my understanding of and approach to grief work with clients, as well as here on the podcast. So if you find yourself feeling a pullback toward reading and you're ready to explore your understanding of grief a little bit further, these books are essential companions on the path to healing and restoration. If this is your first time listening to the show, I hope these books caught your attention and speak to the place you are in your own grief work right now. Please check out the show notes for a link to each of these recommended reads, and while you're there, consider looking at the option to become a supporter and partner of the podcast via Patreon. I am endlessly grateful to the people who value this work and want to keep it going, so if that's you, thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and let me know if there's a phenomenal book on grief that I didn't include here. I've read so many of them, but every day more are coming to the public domain, and I am just so excited to read every one of them. So send them my way. And before we go, as always, one last thing. Please remember, the only solution for grief is to do the work of grieving. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.